Hello everyone. In this new tutorial we will make a tiger head. The first part will cover sculpting. So let's start with this one. Starting with the default cube, add a 4-level subdivision modifier with Ctrl 4. Apply the modifier, right click and smooth shade the object. Switch to the sculpt mode. If you are using a new version of Blender, then you will be able to see the sculpting brush assets in the lower side. Some settings that we will do before sculpting. Turn off fast navigate. In the remesh, enable fixed poles and turn on X symmetry so both sides are updated during sculpting. You can change the brush size with F. I will be using a lower strength value. You can right click and change the strength value of any brush. Using the grab brush, start building the shape of the head. We will move the sides a little outwards. Rotate the view and make the shape bigger from the back as well. You don't have to be very precise as we are building the basic blockout shape of the head. If we look at the wireframe of the object, you can see it is quite low resolution. Press R for the remesh grid and use a slightly more dense grid size. Press Ctrl R for the remesh operation. This will add more resolution in our object mesh. Let's sculpt in the eye sockets and the mouth. For this, I will be using the mask brush to paint the shape of the eyes. We can see the mask resolution still looks a bit low. So we will increase the remesh grid size once again and Ctrl R to remesh. This will add more resolution in our object. Now we can see the mask looks much more smoother and we can paint it clearly. You can press the Ctrl key to remove any mask area. Use Shift to smooth blend the mask if needed. I'm making the shape for the eyes. Set the strength of the mask to 1 so it remains consistent and dark. Once we have painted the mask for the eyes and mouth, press Ctrl I to invert the mask. I will use the mesh filter tool with the inflate option. Left click and drag the mouse to see the effect. We will move towards the left side and it will push those unmasked faces inwards. If your model shape looks ugly and not correct at this time, it's alright as we will be improving it. To add more volume to those areas where the mesh topology looks too thin, we can use the inflate brush. Continue refining the shape with the move brush. Use a lower strength value as it is easier to control while making changes. Please keep in mind I am speeding up some parts of this video. You should take your time while making these adjustments. Always rotate and view the model to see it from other sides as well. Move the lips area forward so the flow of shape is coming out and not completely flat. Shift smooth any areas to reduce bumps. Move the nose outwards a little. At the back side, move it out and downwards. For the nose, I will use the clay brush to add some more volume again and further adjust the shape. During sculpting, it is also better to perform the remesh operation after doing many sculpting changes so the topology remains even and there is less distortion. If you notice any sort of artifacts in the mesh, then check if the object is using shade smooth. Next we will add the eyeballs. I will be using a UV sphere object with 12 segments. Rotate it with RX90. This topology will be useful if we need to assign separate materials later. Position the eye object in the head. Add a 2-level subdivision modifier and then add a mirror modifier to generate the other side. Use the head as mirror reference. Continue working on the head object and adjust the shape around the eyes. Again, speeding up some parts of the video as most of the steps are same as before. Zoom into the mouth area. We can further improve it. Use the draw sharp brush this time and start sculpting inside the mouth, which will make the topology go towards the inner side. You can also turn on stabilize stroke, which makes it easier to sculpt smoothly by adding lag. The shortcut is Shift S. If we look at the mesh in the inner side, you can see it looks messy and not smooth. In such a situation where the topology is distorted and not sculpting correctly, we can remesh again to make the topology evenly subdivided. This way you can sculpt details or smoothen the area. I will further improve the shape and refine. Make a duplicate copy of the sculpt in case we may need to reuse it later and rename the objects in the outliner. Make sure to save your file. Let's sculpt the ears now. Using the grab brush, I will simply move a small part of the head outside to make the shape of the ears. Use the inflate brush wherever you want to fill up some areas or gaps. Exit the sculpt mode. If we look at the topology, we can see that our mesh is quite dense. So we are going to optimize it, which will help in making the overall shape smooth. Go in data properties. In the remesh settings, select quadriflow remesh. Here turn on symmetry, preserve sharp, boundary and smooth normal setting. Leave the count to about 4000 and remesh. This value may vary depending on different objects. The resulting mesh will be more optimized while maintaining the shape of the sculpted model. But you can see we have some problems in the middle with open gaps. To fix this issue, in the edit mode, select the inner edge loops on both sides. Enable auto merge. Then using the transform tool, press SX0 and hit enter. This command will move the selected vertices towards the center and merge them. Later you can smooth any visible joints in the mesh, and it is also easier to make changes in the lower resolution geometry. Now add a multi-res modifier with 2 subdivision levels. Don't go above 3 or 4 levels unless you need very high details. The biggest advantage of using a multi-res modifier is that we can also switch to lower and high subdivision level geometry, making it easier to work across different subdivision levels. Shortcut is page up, page down. The only limitation using a multi-res modifier is that we cannot use the remesh operation with it. Let's continue improving the shape. If we compare the results with the original sculpt, we can see that our new sculpt looks much more smoother. So that is why we first use quadri-flow operation to create a low resolution mesh and then add a multi-res modifier on top to generate a further cleaner look. Next we are going to add a nose object. For this I will use a cube and add a 4-level subdivision modifier. Make it small and position it in the front just above the mouth. In the sculpt mode, turn on X symmetry. If we sculpt the shape, you may notice some problem in sculpting. It may feel slow and lagging. The reason for this is that we have not applied the subdivision modifier. So it's always good to apply the subdivision modifier in case the base object is low resolution, like here it was just a cube. Make the nose shape wider. In order to add smaller details, we will do the remesh operation so there is more resolution in the object. Now you can sculpt more details easily. I will make the nose a bit more smaller and continue with more adjustments. To switch between any object during sculpting, you can press Alt Q. Select the Draw Sharp brush and hold Ctrl, turn on Stabilize Stroke and draw along the edges of the eyes using a low strength value. Try the pinch brush also for extra sharp edges. For the ears, use the inflate brush, press Ctrl key to sculpt inner smoother part. For adding a teeth, I will simply use a UV sphere. Add a 2-level subdivision modifier and then with the grab brush refine the shape. Add a mirror modifier to create the other side teeth. In the edit mode, select all faces, Shift D to duplicate them and make the other teeth parts. Use the grab brush to further refine the shapes. In the same way, build the lower teeth parts. Remember to take your time. You can also use the snake hook brush to add some extra fur shapes. One more thing I would like to show here, you do not have to follow this next step. In case you are using a multi-res modifier and you want to remove any sculpted part, you can use the multi-res displacement eraser brush to remove any sculpted details and get your original mesh shape back. And this completes the sculpting part of the tutorial. From here you can continue working and improve the overall design. There are always different workflows which you can try and see whichever works best for you. The next step shows how to use vertex painting, which is the process of quickly adding colors to our sculpted models. It is always better to make a backup copy of your sculpt before proceeding. Apply the multi-res modifier, which will make our object high resolution. Go to data properties and here in the color attributes, add a color attribute node. Give it any name and set any base color. I will use blue color. This will add a color attribute node. If we switch to the material preview, we will not see any colors applied yet. We need to apply a material first. In the shading tab, add a new material. From the base color, drag and connect a color attribute node and select the color value in it. Now you can see the colors in the viewport. Press Ctrl Tab and select Vertex Painting. There are some brushes available that you can use. Set any color that you would like to use. You can change the colors from the top menu or from the side panel. Using this method, you can quickly paint colors on your model, but keep in mind if your object is low resolution, then the colors will also look low resolution and not smooth. You can press Shift to blend any painted colors. You can also use the color palette to save your colors that you would like to reuse. Adding some colors will give you a good idea how your model is going to look, and you can go in the sculpt mode and make changes alongside. In the same way, I will add a new material for the eyes and for the nose. In the inner mouth area, I am painting a black color. Some areas may look low resolution if there is lower amount of faces or distortion in the topology. Around the eyes, I will add some black colors. For the eyes, apply the subdivision modifier first and in the data properties, add a color attribute node. The process will be same as before. Connect the base color with the color attribute node and you can start painting in the vertex paint mode. This is the overall process of how to sculpt and add colors with vertex painting to your model. In the next part of this tutorial, we will look into retopology and painting textures. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe and leave a comment. Turn on notification bell also. Thank you very much for watching and I will see you in the next one.